Hello, welcome to Glitter Goddess Yoga. My name is Am, one of the Glitter Goddesses. Welcome. Today we will be doing Snow Flow, appropriate for the weather today and for the engagement of our walking meditation album, Winter Walking Meditations. So our first release will be on December 21st, so look out for that. Shout out to Providence Community Libraries. This project has been, it comes out of my residency and fellowship with the Creative Community Health Workers. It's been a really awesome and fun project to work on, and I'm excited to release it. So today, our flow will be a little bit like last week's warm flow with some extra leg stretches. Definitely have a pillow and a blanket with you and some water for hydration. As always, because I can't respond to your body in real time, please be super intentional about each pose and how you move in between each pose. Be really mindful about what feels in your stretch zone and what goes into your danger zone. Try to avoid pop pinch sensations. Shout out to Providence Community Library. We go live on Facebook with the Glitter Goddesses and House of Glitter, as well as with Providence Community Library's YouTube. Yeah, so let's get started. We will begin seated. You can roll your shoulders back, find a nice, tall, long spine. And just start to tap into the natural breath as we get started. Maybe just take a moment to find silence, to settle into the natural breath. And from here, I'll invite us to slow down each breath, taking slower inhales and slower exhales. And as you continue this breath, think about sending that breath down into the belly, toward the hips, bringing your awareness to the hips as we breathe. Noticing we can allow the air to fill up the lungs and open up the chest as the chest raises and falls, but we could also bring the breath down into the belly, allowing the belly to expand on the inhales and deflate like a balloon on the exhales. And while our awareness is here in the hips, continue with the slowed breath, and you can visualize what's called the ocean breath. Visualizing water on the inhales coming in, crashing against the hips. And those waves subside on the exhales, slowly with control. Inhaling again, and as you exhale this time, think about whispering on the exhale, almost like whispering an ah on the exhale, producing an ocean-like sound, slowing the breath. And then we'll start to just breathe in and out through the nose. Keeping this visualization of water, the breaths as waves, and as that water slowly pulls away from the shore, think about that build up toward the end of the inhale and bring some intention to that crash as you move from inhale into exhale. Just be aware of the start of that exhale, working toward starting the exhale as slowly as possible. Keeping the sound of the ocean breath, exhaling through the nose. Keeping this slow, controlled breath, I'll invite us to inhale, raising the shoulders up toward the ears. And exhale, releasing the shoulders down. Inhale again, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders down. We'll continue this 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders up. And exhale to bring the shoulders down. 1 more time. Inhale, shoulders up. And exhale, releasing the shoulders. We'll bring the right hand to our right side, lifting the left arm up and over. Stretching the left side body. And we'll drop the left hand to the left side, reaching the right arm up. Continuing this breath. And let's come back to center. We'll bring the right hand to the left knee and the left hand behind us for a twist. We can use that slow, controlled inhale here to find length in the spine. And as we exhale out the nose, we can twist deeper, turning the head all the way to the left. Using this slow ocean breath through the nose, it can actually help you to feel warmer when we're outside in the cold. The slowed breath allows that the diaphragm, the stomach, the muscle in the belly, and the core to massage the vagus nerve, telling the parasympathetic nervous system it is okay to rest, to digest. It is okay, I feel safe. Slowing down the breath can relieve anxiety, frustration. On the next inhale, we'll raise the arms up and over, and we'll exhale to drop to the other side. Continue to allow those exhales to press deeper into this twist. For the inhales to offer you a little more length. And from here, we'll take another inhale to raise the arms up. And on the exhale, we'll drop them down to the knees. From here, let's bring a circular motion to the torso, the upper body, using the shoulders, warming up the core, pressing the chest forward and sinking down. And then we'll rotate to the other side. And then from here, we'll press the chest forward on an inhale, opening up the heart, open throat, open up the shoulders. And on the exhales, we can round the spine, bring the chin to the chest, dropping the head's weight. We'll inhale again to press the chest forward. Syncing the motion with the breath, exhaling to round the spine. Inhale, press the chest forward. Slowly exhale to round the spine. Inhaling again to press forward. And exhale, round the spine. Let's sit back up to a neutral spine. We'll send both legs out into a straddle. Your legs don't have to be too wide. And let's just think about pressing the chest forward here, reaching the hips back. We can start by alternating flex and point in the ankle foot toes. And then we'll use the hands in front of us to crawl forward gently, rounding the spine. Again, letting the head just hang heavy. Here we can flex in the ankle feet toes. We can press the ankles into the floor, pressing the heels into the floor. And from here, let's crawl the hands over to the right side of the right leg. Reaching forward with that left hand, crawling the palm forward, keeping the left hip down on the floor. When you're ready, we'll crawl over to the other side. Keeping the head heavy, reach that right hand forward as far as you can. Keeping the right hip down in the floor. Noticing that slowed breath. Noticing how heavy the head can feel. Releasing any tension in the neck, the upper back. Engaging that left heel into the floor, opening and stretching the lower right back. Allow those inhales to create some expansion here in the torso, adding to the stretch. And whenever you're ready, we'll come back to center. We'll take a breath here. And then we'll slowly roll up From here, we'll bring the feet together ahead of us. On an inhale, we'll engage in both legs, tightening every muscle that we can in the legs and the feet. And on the exhale, release all of that tension. Inhale again to tighten, engage, locking the knees, engaging in the quads. And then exhale, release. One more time, we'll do the same thing, but we'll hinge forward, inhaling to engage, pressing the chest forward. And on the exhale, let's round the spine to release, slowly lowering the head down. No expectations here in this forward fold. Just allow the upper body to hang heavy. No need to reach for the toes or the ankles. Just release in the hips. Let go again in the neck and in the shoulders, releasing any tension in the upper back. When you're ready, we'll roll back up. If you're sitting on pillows, you can remove them. And we will meet in tabletop. First thing we'll do in tabletop is similar to what we did seated. We'll roll into circles with the upper body, as if you're drawing circles with the rib cage. Maybe you can imagine a marker at the end of the tailbone, drawing circles there, reaching the hips up and back, sinking down. Tucking the hips as we reach the upper back up. Maybe notice that you can create a little bit of distance between the shoulder blades. And we'll change the direction of that circle, warming up the core. And finishing up in this motion, we'll send the right foot back, tucking the toes, bouncing into this, reaching that heel, stretching out the calf, the back of the leg. And when you're ready, you can drop that knee down. We'll switch to the other side to open up the left. And preparing the arms and the hands for plank, making sure that the wrists are stacked just below the shoulders. We'll reach the right foot back to meet the left. If you'd like, a modification here on plank is just to lower the knees down. And if you are here, you can untuck the toes. If the knees are up, really think about engaging in the chest. And from here, we'll slowly lower down if you haven't yet, the knees, the toes, the hips, chest. And you can stack the hands to rest your face. Coming back to that ocean breath. Just take a moment here to allow the body to recalibrate. Allow the breath to recalibrate. Allow the heart rate to recalibrate. And when you're ready from here, we'll press up into Sphinx. You can stack the elbows just below the shoulders, press the hands into one another or into the floor. And in Sphinx, we're working toward pointing the toes and engaging in the legs. You can lock the knees, pressing the hips into the floor. As we breathe through this pose, you can engage in the lower back and press the energy into the floor using the elbows, trying to find as much distance between the ears and the shoulders as possible, keeping the gaze down toward the hands, reaching the top back of the head far and long to continue the length in the spine. And as we come out of Sphinx, let's take the left hand and reach it up overhead, laying it flat on the floor. And we'll rest our left ear onto that arm. And as we lower down, we'll take the right hand, pressing it into the floor just under the shoulder. And we'll reach that right foot into the other side, allowing it to touch the floor behind us. You can think about pressing the right hip forward as the right foot is back, opening up into this gentle twist. You can raise the knee, play around with what feels good. And we'll lay our tummies flat down, reaching the right hand up this time. You can rest the right ear, and then press into the floor with the left hand, reaching back with the left foot. When you're ready, we'll return to being flat against the floor, and we'll press back up into plank, both hands just below the shoulders to come back up. From here, keeping the hands and feet exactly where they are, we'll press up into downward dog. And our first downward dog, you can keep the knees bent. You can pedal the legs out, reaching the heels down toward the floor. Whenever you're ready, you can walk the hands toward the feet. Take as much time in downward dog as you'd like, if it feels good for you. But when you do arrive in forward fold, just let the head and the arms hang heavy. You can have a micro bend in the knees. And from here, let's crawl the feet out a little bit wider than the hips. Staying in this forward fold, just letting the head hang heavier. And from here, let's crawl the hands to the right side on the floor, maybe just in front of our foot. Maybe we can grab behind the ankle. And if it's a part of your practice, you can even hug the right leg, bringing the chest closer to the knee. Whatever feels best for you here in this forward fold. From here, we'll release, crawling over to the left side. And then we'll come back to center. Let's find a flat back by reaching the hands, grabbing the shins with the hands, reaching the head far and long, working toward one line from the top of the head down to the tailbone, reaching the hips up and back. Maybe noticing you might need to lean into the toes a little bit. Continue that slow, controlled breath here. And let's find a nice, big, deep inhale here together. And as we exhale, we can lower back down into our forward fold. Inhaling again. Let's exhale to bend the knees, reaching the hips up and back. And as we inhale, we'll roll up the spine, keeping the knees bent, reaching the hands toward the floor as if they have weights in them, rolling up the lower spine, middle spine, and upper. Once you get to the top, you can roll the shoulders. Taking a moment again to recalibrate the breath. Give your body just a moment to ground. You can bring the feet back under the hips and open up the palms. Find a little more length in your stance. And take this moment standing in Tadasana to just breathe. Perhaps you can find more space in the chest, opening up the shoulders. And from here, I'll invite us to inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, slow down into a forward fold. Inhale again, slow movement into flat back. And exhale, we'll forward fold again with bent knees. Let's inhale to straighten here. Slowly exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale to bend. And on the next inhale, again, we'll roll up the middle spine, upper spine, roll the shoulders back. At this point, as we open up the palms to stand in Tadasana, we can allow the exhales out the mouth. So we'll continue the slowed breath, continue the ocean breath, but inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. So we'll inhale, arms up overhead. Slow ocean breath out the mouth. It should sound like a whisper making the breath audible. We'll inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten. And exhale to bend. Inhale, straighten. We'll bring the hands, the palms to behind the knees. And as we exhale, just bring some topical heat to behind the knees, rubbing down into the calves, adding some friction and some heat to the hamstrings. And once we've added that warmth, we can grab behind the ankles or behind the calves and just pull ourselves slightly in toward the legs, pulling the head closer toward the knees. And on your next exhale, we'll bend and crawl the hands forward into a plank. Again, you can have your knees down in this plank if that feels best for you. We'll take a couple breaths here, pressing the energy into the floor, through the palms. Noticing that on the inhales, we can strengthen and engage in the hips and the back. And on your next exhale, we'll keep the hands and feet in the same place to reach the hips up for downward dog, taking full expression of downward dog this time. And let's come back to plank. Again, pressing the energy down through the hands. Whenever you're ready, we'll lower the knees, untuck the toes, and slowly lower down the hips, the chest, stacking the hands again to rest the head. We'll take another moment to recalibrate. Whether we are in breath practice, in physical practice, and any mindful practice, especially if you're new and just getting started in your practice, I really encourage taking moments of pause, taking a break, just to listen into the body, listen to what it's telling you, be still for a moment, allowing the sensations or thoughts, considerations to sink in. When we allow our weight to just surrender to the floor, we're giving our system so many systems of rest, so many of our involuntary systems, the upper respiratory system, the digestive system. We're allowing just a moment of pause so that the body can do its work. So that we can take a moment to listen. Whenever you're ready, we'll press back up. Again, pressing the hands just beneath the shoulders for plank. Finding that slow, controlled breath as we engage in the arms and the chest. On the next exhale, we'll reach the hips up and back for another downward dog. reaching those heels down toward the floor, keeping the arms in their sockets, finding as much length in the spine as you can. From here, we'll go into lunge on the right side. So I'll invite you to lift the right foot up. You can bend the knee and bring that knee toward the chest, and then drop the foot between the hands, keeping that left heel reaching back. And here on the right side, we're looking toward a stack between the knee and the ankle. And as we press the hands into the floor, we're reaching that left hip forward. From here, if you have a pillow or blankets, whatever support you have with you in your flow today, we'll drop that just beneath the left knee. And we'll drop the left knee down onto that support. And we'll reach the torso up, keeping length in the spine. We'll stretch out that leg in front of us. For this hamstring stretch, we're working toward keeping the length in the spine as we fold forward at the hips. So this might mean that we only get so far. It might mean that we're able to reach the hands down toward the floor. It might mean that we fold forward all the way. No matter where you are, we're working toward pressing that heel into the floor. We're working toward keeping the knee locked, that right hip down and back. Working toward that slow, controlled ocean breath. And while we're here, I'll invite us to find a moment of gratitude for the legs, for being able-bodied, for the ability to travel, to be mobile. From here, we'll point the toes on the right side, keeping that heel pressing into the floor. And we'll flex again. From here, let's bend a little bit in that right knee. And then straighten again. We'll bend. And as we straighten this time, let's round in the spine, letting the head hang heavy. Whenever you're ready, we'll bring that foot back to the mat, framing the foot with both hands, and lifting that knee behind us to tuck the toe. Pressing into that left hip, finding the strength and engagement in both legs here. And then we'll drop that left knee one more time on this side, bending that left leg. You can flex the ankle here. And if you'd like to, if it's a part of your practice, you can reach the right hand, keeping the left hand pressed into the floor. Reach the right hand back to grab that ankle and just give it a gentle pull. Stretching into the psoas, the hip flexors. This can be an intense sensation, so be really gentle on yourself here. And when you're ready, we'll release, dropping that left foot, framing that right foot again with both hands. We'll pop that left knee back up. And from here, we'll send the right foot back to meet the left and plank. Taking a moment here, a couple of breaths. And on your next exhale, I'll invite us to reach the hips up and back for downward dog, pressing every point of the hands into the floor. From here, we'll lift the left leg up this time. We'll bring the left knee to the hip and then drop the foot between the hands, reaching that right ankle back as we tuck the right toes and reach the right hip forward, engaging with the right glutes, engaging with the right hip, pressing the right hip forward, making sure that we're stacked here on the left side. And from here, shift your pillow, your blankets, whatever support you have, a little bit to the right below your right knee so that you can drop it down. And again, we're working toward keeping a nice, tall, long spine. We'll straighten the left leg, pressing the left heel into the floor, and then we'll fold forward into the hips. It might feel different on this side. Perhaps you can lean forward a little more. Maybe it's less. Maybe the sensation's a little more intense. But no matter where you are in this pose, let's work toward pressing that heel into the floor. And let's work toward sending that breath into this part of the leg, the hamstring. I'll invite us again into a moment of gratitude for the legs, for our mobility. Feeling grateful for our ability to travel. I'll invite us from here to point the ankle foot toe on the left side, keeping the engagement, locking the knee. You can reach that hip up and back. We'll flex the ankle foot toe again. And from here, take a moment just to bend. And then straighten. Slow breath with this motion as we bend and straighten. One more time to bend and straighten. And on this next exhale, let's round the spine, allowing the head to hang heavy here. Whenever you're ready, we'll bring the sole of the foot back down to the floor, framing that foot with both hands and popping up that left leg by tucking the toes on the right side. We'll take another moment here on this lunge. And we'll press into the floor to send that left foot back for plank. Then we'll reach the hips up and back for our last downward dog, removing the pillows and blankets. giving your body whatever it needs in this last downward dog. And you can lower back down to the floor. We'll meet seated long against our mats. I'll invite you to take a sip of water. And from here, we'll lower our backs down to the mat. Spreading the arms out into a T. Let's drop the knees over to the right side. And what we'll do on the left side is lift the left arm up and over, the palm open toward the ceiling. Continuing our slow, controlled breath. If it feels comfortable at this point, you can bring the exhale back to the nose. So inhaling and exhaling out the nose from here. And let's return that left arm back to the T position. We'll drop the knees over to the left side now. And we'll reach the right arm up, palm open. Slow, controlled breath. And when you're ready, we'll bring the arm back to a T, lifting the knees back up. We'll straighten the left leg, reaching the heel away from the body. And then we'll bend to rest that left ankle on the right knee, threading the hands behind the right thigh. You can pull in toward the body, maybe pressing away the left knee with the left elbow, working toward keeping a flat spine against the floor, flexing in both ankles, working toward bringing the legs in toward the chest, breathing into the sensation in the outer hips. When you're ready, on your next exhale, release from this pose. We'll drop both feet down to the floor and then reach the right up and long, dropping the right heel, threading behind the left thigh, pulling in toward the body. It's important here to keep the right ankle flexed especially, but I like to be in practice of flexing both of the ankles, trying to stay in alignment. And on your next exhale, you can release. We'll find a couple of breaths here as we hug the chest in, hug the knees in toward the chest. Maybe rocking gently back and forth. And we'll go into Shavasana Pose by extending all of our limbs out against the floor. Finding a moment of comfort. Position yourself however it feels best. Just release all of your weight into the floor. I'll offer a moment of silence. The work in this pose in Shavasana is to do no work at all. So take this moment to just release, to be held, to feel supported, to do no work. Bringing your awareness back to the body, I'll invite you to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And take a moment to take a nice, big, deep inhale, filling the lungs. And as you exhale, you can roll over to one side. Take a moment in fetal position, if it feels good for you, before sitting up to meet me for closing breaths. And once you are seated, roll the shoulders back, wiggle in the seat a little bit. And for our closing breaths, I'll invite us to keep the hands either on the feet or the knees, however you'd like to send energy into the legs. You can close your eyes or find a soft gaze. And I'll invite us into 4 closing breaths. A breath for our individual ancestors who are with us guiding us always, breathing in and out. A breath to thank yourself for your practice today, breathing in and out. A breath to send energy and gratitude to the legs for supporting us, for carrying us. Breathing in and out. And a breath for the great conjunction and winter solstice coming December 21st for the transition into a new season and another rotation around the sun, breathing in and out. The loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with us today. Again, look out for the House of Glitter Winter Walking Meditation album being released on the winter solstice in great conjunction. Visit houseofglitter.org to find out more information on that. We're also continuing to take donations, and we'd love to hear feedback or suggestions that you have for us, so feel free to DM us. Again, shout out to PCL. Check out their YouTube and other virtual programming they have going on right now. And definitely share, like, and subscribe. Appreciate you all.